Hi, everyone. Let's talk a bit about social identity and the way it may connect with tribal conflict. Well, the idea here is that according to quite a lot of social scientists, people belong to groups. Groups have a collective identity. Now, what happens sometimes to some of us is that we start losing our social identity, namely because globalism and evasion from corporations who sort of destroy local cultures, local their identity to impose their products, to make people identify with new fabricated values so they buy what corporations want to sell. What happens then is eventually that there is a sense, unconsciously even, of cultural loss, identity loss, and then sometimes groups of people that used to be together easily, that used to collaborate, that used to feel quite okay about differences among them, those groups can get into conflicts, eventually even bloody conflicts. Apparently, one reason for this to happen is that because of the cultural destruction, because of the destruction of social ways, of patterns of being together from people, namely the young ones have a tendency to radicalize. They have a tendency to hunt for their sort of roots and to radicalize the perspective around those roots. So if I am a Catholic, eventually I become a fanatic Catholic. As I, from the destruction of my usual references, I try to recover them by becoming a very strict Catholic. If I am a Muslim, if I'm a Jew, if I'm a Buddhist, the same can happen. And it has been documented to happen in different areas of the globe. People feel, in a way, no longer okay because it's harder for them to know who they are as they're losing their social identity from the destruction that is provoked, I think, many times on purpose by corporations and sometimes even governments. People feel at loss. They no longer know very well who they are. So they start radicalizing. They start becoming more of a tribe. And this tribe wants to make sure it's a tribe. And therefore, it has a tendency to separate from other tribes and to fight them. And to feel sometimes that our tribe is, of course, the best tribe. So, in a way, we are going down from ourselves towards an animalistic, an animal style of territory protection. We are animals protecting our cultural, our social territory, group identity, tribal identity. Of course, when we feel that we are sort of losing our social identity and our local culture, there are better ways. I think what we really need nowadays, everywhere, is to start building a different identity, like a planetary identity, the identity of being human, mostly being an entity that is self-aware, that has a consciousness, that is alive, that shares the same planet to everyone else, and that welcomes everyone else into the collective home that is our planet. So here we have a solution by evolving to a bigger, a larger, vaster identity, no longer a tribal one, and instead a conflict. Then we have sharing, collaboration, full respect for differences, for other cultures that enrich the global tapestry of humanity. But this implies expansion of consciousness instead of shrinking into animal tribal consciousness, trying to protect emotional, social territory, cultural territory. This is the idea for now. I think we have better ways than sort of departing for war when we feel we are at loss with our usual cultural and social references. That's the idea. See you.